Hello and welcome to excelexperts.com, where we are attempting to answer the question, how much can I spend on a house? For this we've written a calculator in Excel, and here it is. If you don't already have it, you can get it by going to excelexperts.com, the main page, scroll down, and here it is, how much can I spend on a house calculator. Click on the link and download the Excel file. It contains no macros, so it's perfectly safe to open. Let's build up an example of how we would use this calculator in order to calculate how much we can afford to spend on a house. So let's say I think I want to buy a house worth 200,000 pounds, dollars, pence, it doesn't matter. This is a multi-currency calculator. Let's say I've got 10,000 assets. Notice each time I type something in, it's populated over here in the calculations. Let's say my assets will grow at 1% a year. I've currently got 50,000 in the bank. My deposit is 20%, so for that I just type 20. Notice all of these are calculated for you, as is anything in grey. The cost of buying this house, I'm going to enter 5%, and selling costs 3%. The annual maintenance, so this depends on how old your house is. I normally enter 1% for this. I'll probably move every X years. This is an idea of how mobile you are as a family. A lot of people move every 7 years, so I'll just type 7. But if you're more flexible, or if your family is expanding, you might want to lower that number. Mortgage broker fee, this is a fee that you have to pay on entry into a mortgage and occasionally on exit. Notice when I enter that, it says I'll need a loan of 1,000 because I've basically run out of cash. So the post-tax investment rates are very low right now, but let's say I can get 2% on my money. This could also represent the opportunity cost. For example, if I've got another loan that I need to pay. Notice I haven't entered any salary here, so after not very many years I go bankrupt, so I need to earn money in order to buy this house. The in-debt interest rate is what I'm going to enter next. So this is if you have to borrow on a loan basis or on a credit card. These rates are generally quite high. I'm going to enter 8%. Mortgage interest rate, let's assume 6. This is March 09, and interest rates have come down a lot, but mortgage rates are still fairly high. You may have locked into a rate, or maybe transferring a rate from another lender. Pre-tax initial salary, let's assume that you earn before tax 50,000. The only reason this is used is to calculate the income multiple, so that gives you some kind of sensible idea of how much you're borrowing versus your pre-tax salary. Post-tax, I'm not going to calculate that, you just enter that in. So this is now looking a lot better. We've got a salary. Annual expenditure, I knew it wasn't so great. As well as having salary, we actually spend money too. So let's say we spend 20,000 a year. Okay, now I can enter various assumptions as to the changes in salary, in extra incomes, in expenditure changes, in house price changes, and all of those will impact my wealth. Right now I haven't entered any assumptions, I've just assumed they're all zero, and if we have a look at graph of my wealth, it goes up nicely with my salary and it goes down every time I move, so I have to pay the buying and selling costs. Okay, I don't want to type in all of these extra things, so I'm going to find another worksheet that I've worked on already. Okay. In this example, I'm assuming my salary changes at 2% every year. I'm assuming that I have a very big payout, so maybe somebody wants to borrow some money off me or something in 2 years' time, but I get it back in 6 years' time with some interest, it seems. But obviously, in the meantime, I'm in trouble here. So my cash position goes negative, which means I have to borrow money at this interest rate here, so it increases. This assumes that I'm also allowed to borrow this amount of money at this interest rate. And also, very worryingly here, because I've entered some decreases in house prices, I actually go technically bankrupt here. My total worth is negative. So if these are all my assumptions, so I assume that I'm increasing my expenditure, I'm assuming that house prices are going down for 3 years, flat for 2, and then up for 4. At this point, I hit negative equity, and here I'm technically bankrupt. So with these assumptions, it seems as if the right thing to do is not to buy this house. So the question is, if I make assumptions, what is the right amount to pay for this house? So, or what house can I actually afford to buy? Well, there's a nifty way in Excel that we can do that. I can use something called goal seek, which sets a cell to a certain value by changing another cell. Let's see this in action. Let's say I don't want to go bankrupt. Let's select this cell and go Alt T G, Tools, Goal Seek, and I want to set that cell to value 0, so I'm not bankrupt, I'm just got 0 wealth, by changing the house price. Okay, in this case I managed to stay above 0 wealth by changing the house price to 141,000. So based on these assumptions, with my salary, with my market assumptions, I shouldn't be spending more than 141,000 on a house. This is a basic calculator, but it gives you an idea of the kind of trouble you can get into if things turn bad, and you can also enter your own house price change for many years. It can be cyclical, or you can enter a single rate for the whole thing. Here's the graph of your wealth in this case. Thank you for listening, and enjoy using the how much can I afford to spend on a house calculator from excelexperts.com.